I was thinking a little bit familiar, yeah.
Yes.
My name is Neil Silverthorn, with y'all. Jeff.
Liz.
Y'all from around here?
We moved here a few months ago.
That's good.
Nebraska.
Well, our preacher, he's in there right now on the computer. His name Buford Edwards. We got, like I said, we got Sunday school, and we grab y'all book here.
Come down where it's gonna be a little bit milder weather, hopefully.
We got transferred with this job, so.
Y'all get in.
Okay.
I'm a substitute in here. The lady that usually does it, she is down with her family down in Florida. The doctor goes down. Brother Buford, never mind that family. Is that ready?
Good.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We got a few new people here today. That's lovely. As y'all can see, Rhonda Mason ain't here. She won't be here all week. Not week, I mean all month. So I'll be filling in a little bit. Next week I will not be here, so Brother Buford, possibility, unless somebody else steps up, will be taking over the lesson. Let's see. Give me a little drink here. Everybody have a good week this week?
Yeah.
Good. Trying to get my glasses on file on here. Take me a second. All right, today's lesson is going to come out of on page 24, the good and evil of Jehu. Now, I mean, there's some names in here I'm probably gonna butcher like crazy. But boy, I am unorganized this morning. All right, this morning we're going to study about Jehu. He is I'll give you a background about him, and we're going to learn about his he was a boastful kind of person. The background of Jehu, Jehu was the 10th king of Israel. Jehu was about 40 years old when he became king, and he reigned for about 28 years. He was a soldier in his youth, and he was with Ahab when he was went to Jezreel to take possession of Naboth's vineyard, and he heard Elijah denounced of the king of the race. Now, when Jehu was like a soldier in his youth and stuff like that, God sent Elijah to go out and find Jehu. This is when Ahab was still the king, to be anointed. Now, God had a purpose for Jehu. So, we're going to learn about that today, too. Now, in this lesson, too, we will also study about the word Zeal, Z-E-A-L. It's an interesting word and has pretty much a great meaning. We'll learn a little bit about it. Now, we're going to give you a little bit of a background of this lesson. I mean, not in biblical sense, but in terms of this day of age. this Jehu, he was definitely a follower, a worker of God. But the thing about it, he was a boastful man. He pretty much knew God. He knew how to work for God. But he was one of those people who wanted to take credit. Now, if you look at professional athletes, all right, professional athletes are on teams. Now the center point should be on the team, you know, when they're winning and stuff like that. But usually there's that one player on there. I'm going to give an example because I can't always stand him. LeBron James. All right. I mean, he's a professional athlete that, you know, he thinks, or he's been from team to team, that if he gets on that team, national championship automatically, because he's on that team. I mean, he's there to play for the team, even though the team should be the one that's highlighted, but he wants all the highlight on him or what has been done for the team. Does that seem like a good understanding on that? Okay. Well, like I said, I can't stand him. I mean, he is so arrogant, man. Arrogant fellow. I mean, he might be good, but I mean, TV don't make him look good. All right. Move this down a little bit more. All right, I gave you the background of Jehu. I had to get on Google and I Googled that name, figure out what it's all about, how to say it. So on page 24, lesson, like I said, is today's lessons from November 7th. The good and the evil of Jehu. All right, the time of date is 884 to 856 BC. Time of place is in Samaria and Jezreel, the capital of Israel. And the golden text comes from Galatians 4:18. It is good to be zealously affected, always in the good things. Now, like I said, we're gonna learn about this Jehu, and he's gonna be like a LeBron James, I guess you can say. The background of this is, I mean, he's become a king, and God's got a job for him to do, and this job is to pretty much destroy, eliminate Ahab's whole family. I mean, pretty much take them out. Everyone who follows Ahab, he's going to be taking them, killing them, getting rid of them. He's pretty much trying to wipe Ahab off the earth. And that's what God's wanting to do. Because Ahab, him, his priests, his followers, all of them, they were worshiping a false idol, which is bad. And we're going to learn about that too. So, I mean, God has a job for Jehu to do, and that's what Jehu to do, and that's what he's going to do. So, all right, we're going to start with the scripture. I'm just going to go on and do verse by verse. I ain't going to read it down like Ron Mason does. But 2 Kings 10:15. And when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehosabad and the son of Rechab. Now, like I said, I'm going to butcher these names like crazy. Come to meet him and salute him, and said to him, "And thine heart right, as my heart is with thy heart." And Jehosabad answered, "It is. If it be, give me thy hand." And he gave him the hand, and he took it up into the chariot. Now, right here, I think this was Ahab and Jehosabad. They met on a road. I read few scriptures before this. I can't remember if it was like right after a battle or something of that sort kind of deal, but I mean, they met on the road. Jehu, anybody know how to say that?
Jehonadab.
Say again?
Jehonadab.
Jehonadab, all right. Woo-hoo. Jehonadab, he was a king as well. So, I mean, he was a king of another, one of the other tribes of Israel. So, I mean, they came together, and Jehu, he already been instructed by God to go out and take out Ahab's reign, pretty much destroy all his people, all his followers. And he's wanting Jehoshaphat to come with him and watch him do all this. He says, come watch me do my work, and I will, he's wanting to be a LeBron James, like LeBron James will run down there and dunk the ball and say, watch me dunk this ball, See how famous I can be. So on verse 16, he said, come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. So they made him ride in his chariot. Now, zeal, I told you we were going to learn about this word too. Zeal, the definition of zeal is great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a great cause. So this great cause that Jehu is getting ready to do is a great cause for God, which is take out Ahab's reign. So, I mean, he's trying to gather up his buddy Jehonadab and have him come with him and say, watch what I can do. Watch me, pretty much, watch my work. Watch me in action kind of deal. So that's what he's wanting to do. So we might go through this a little bit quicker. Now remember, Jehu, I don't think Ahab really knew that Jehu was going to be, had been anointed king, because God sent Elijah to do it. I'm going to say almost like secretly to go out, anoint Jehu without Ahab seeing it, knowing that it's going to happen. So on verse 17, and when he came to Samaria, which was Jehu, he slew all the remains of Ahab in Samaria, till he had destroyed him according to saying of the Lord, which he spake to Elijah. So Elijah knew what was going to be happening, that Jehu was going to be sent to destroy Ahab and all his descendants, everybody. I mean, the writer says right here, and right underneath verse 17, Jehu was God's executioner for the punishment of Ahab and the extinction of his house, which, in other words, taking out everyone that was with him. He first slew Jeroboam, Ahab's son, Jezebel, Ahab's widow. This is pretty gross right here. She was thrown out of her window by her servants in Jehu's command, and her body was eaten by the dogs in Jezreel, as Elijah had foretold. Jehu's next move was to send to Samaria, the capital, and have the 70 sons and grandsons of Ahab slain. So pretty much he must have a hit list. So he did all this. I mean, and in this accordance too, I mean, his buddy, what's his name? Jehoshaphat was, I guess, with him right now, seeing everything that's going to take a part of him. Now, I don't know if that king himself, if he took part in it as well, but that king knew what was going to happen. That after he was seeing what was going on with Ahab. Not Ahab, but with the work of Jehu. All right, in the second part of this lesson, Jehu destroys Baal's worship. Now, he's gonna get a little sneaky in here. What I was reading, I think Jehu himself, even though he worshiped God, but I think he was a man that dabbled in a little bit in worshiping idols as well. I mean, like us today, I mean, a lot of people, you wouldn't think it like today. I mean, we all worship God, but some of us, we get tied into like a social media. And some people almost think it's like the golden rule, you know, social media is. I mean, if you see it on the internet, it's true, right? That's what they say. But it's not. All right, in verse 18, it says, and Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him much. Now he's telling him, pretty much telling him, hey, Ahab served this false idol. Well, he didn't say false idol, served this idol Baal. Now, with me as your new king or whatever, I'm going to serve Baal a whole lot. I mean, I'm going to show you something that you have not seen before. I mean, we're going to step this, we're going to serve him, we're going to step this up to a new level, serving Baal. So he used that as a trickery against these people who were serving Baal. Right here, the writer says, he now planned to destroy all the prophets of Baal. To carry out this plan, he used trickery and falsehood. It is never right to do wickedly, to put down wrong. So what he's doing, I mean, he's using these people who have been serving this Baal. He's going to use that against them, I guess you could say. He's going to use that, but he's going to take it to the next level. He's going to say, hey, this Baal is Taj Mahal, I guess you can say. So we're going to serve this Baal. I'm going to, Ahab served it a little bit, but I'm going to show you that I'm going to put some more icing on the cake. We're going to serve it a little bit better than what Ahab did.
Got one comment, like the last slide. Be firm in dealing with wrong, but keep a sweet spirit. We can stand up for what's wrong. But if our attitude and our spirit is wrong, that undoes everything that we're trying to do.
Yes. And that's the thing. I mean, he's using trickery and wickedness of what they're believing in to be the downfall of these people. And I mean, he's using it too to gather them together. Verse 19. Now therefore call upon me all the prophets of Baal, all the servants, and all the priests. Let none be wanting, for I have great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall wait shall not live. But Jehu did in a subtlety to the intent that he might destroy the worshipers of Baal. Now he's there's never, by what I was reading, there's never been such a sacrifice, a burnt offering when they the worshipers did Baal, and the priests and all that knew that. So they were thinking, wow, we're going to do a burnt offering. So that's where the priest, Jehu didn't think he could get the priest. But if he stepped it up that next level, like a burnt offering or something like that, he would draw the priest and all the false prophets in there to this, I guess it's a big building or something like that, wherever they do their offerings and stuff to Baal. But he was trying to figure out a way that, how am I going to be able to pull the prophets and the priests in here without them knowing what I'm going to be doing? Well, what he's going to do, he's going to put on a show. And that's his plan. He's going to put on a show of Baal, show that, how can you say that? make it seem like it's gonna be a concert, I guess you can say, you know. There's gonna be a concert y'all never gonna see before, come on in here and partake in it. So that's what he's trying to do. Now, in verse 20, and Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly of Baal, and they proclaimed it. The writer said, Jehu now had all of Baal's prophets and servants and all the people called up to him. And then he proclaimed a solemn assembly of Baal, a great religious meeting, a sort of camp meeting. This was done to make it appear that he was intending to inaugurate the worship of Baal on a grand scale. Like I said, he's trying to step it up to the next level, making them think like, hey, he's going to make this God right here a super God. So, I mean, everybody's all in, come to the inauguration, and now I'm wanting to think is between verse 21 and 24 where it skips in here, and it don't have it here in this book. I think that's where I'm wanting to think that's where Jehu, keeps does the ceremony, and making it look good, making the inauguration look better and better, getting everybody all together in one chord, you know, worshiping this false idol Baal. And then it goes down here to verse 25. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of it, well, let me start over here. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offerings, that Jehu said that the guard and to the captains, go in and slay them. Let none come forth, and they smote them with the edges of their sword, and that the guard and the captains cast them out, and went to the city of the house of Baal. So, what the writer has said on here, while the festal throng is rejoicing within, while everybody was in there having a good time, or rejoicing of Baal and stuff like that, 8 strong guards and was posted outside the doors, and they had the doors where nobody can get at. The other guards went in there and pretty much just wiped everybody out. All the believers, the prophets, the priests, pretty much just took everybody out. They had a massive slaughter. And remember, all this was done by a trickery. Jehu, he tricked all of them, said, I'm going to show you how to worship Baal to the next level, like Ahab would just worship Baal, but he said, I'm going to show you how to worship Baal to this next level. I'm going to show you burnt offerings. I'm going to show you famine and all that other good stuff, I guess you can say. But what he did, he led all of them, got them together, led them to their death by trickery. Now, verse 26, it says, and they brought forth the image out of the house of Baal and burnt them. All the little images, statues, pictures, shrines, anything that pretty much had dealings with Baal in the temple, great images of Baal, they were all brought out and they burnt it. They got rid of all. Anything that was used as maybe like small shrines of Baal or something like that. Anything that was had to do with Baal, they pretty much got rid of. And then in 27, verse 27, and they break down the image of Baal, and they break down the house of Baal, and made it drop house unto this day. Now, what they did, the writer said that they partially ruined this house of Baal, partially, and they left some of it some of it there as ruins, but they was using that as a focal point kind of deal, saying, worship a false idol, this is what happens. I mean, this used to be a nice temple for Baal. Now all it is a pile of rubbish. So instead of taking it straight down, wiping it completely clean, they had this, the house of Baal, they had it in piles of rubble. That way people can see, it gives them a little reminding, hey, that used to be the house of Baal. I'm not going back to that false idol kind of deal. All right, and verse 28. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Now, like I said, it pretty much by like 27, worship of Baal pretty much was extinct, done, over, gone. So, this was one of the things that, let me start that over. This was the job that God wanted him to do. He wanted him to wipe out the worshiping of Baal, which was administered by Ahab. So, Jehu, he did what God asked him to do. And from verses 18 all the way through verses 28. Jehu did what God was wanting him to do. Wipe out all extension of Ahab and all extension of the worshiping of Baal. So, I mean, from family members all the way down to servants, all the way down to priests, all the way down to prophets, anything that had to do with Baal and Ahab was pretty much wiped off. Now, there was a few people that was left, descendants of Ahab, and I think they were used as well, let's see what's it over here. I think there's like 2 grandsons or something like that were left. I think one of them had to be king for a while, but he was slain as well. I mean, I think you can reference it by 2 Chronicles 22, 10 through 12. I really didn't read up on that, so I don't want to give you any false information on that. But I think there was a little bit of a, between Ahab and Jehu's reign, there was a few years in between that I think there were still a few little descendants of Ahab that was king. All right. Now, we're going to get the third part of this lesson. It says, Jehu Fails God. Now, how do you think that he's going to fail God? How would you think that, I mean, he served God right now. He got rid of most of Ahab's descendants, got rid of Baal, but now he's going to fail God.
He doesn't completely get rid of some of the practices.
Exactly. He's still a boastful man.
He's still holding on to something.
Yeah, he is definitely holding on to something, and we're going to find out what that is right here. All right, verse 29. Outright from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin, Jehu departed not from after them to wit the golden calf, and were in Bethel, and that were in Dan. Now, this Jeroboam, he was a king as well. And this king, he had his false idols was the golden calf for his tribe. I mean, their idol was the golden calf. And Jehu, it says right here, wit. And the scripture, it says, Jehu departed not from after them to wit the golden calf that were in Bethel and were in Dan. Now, wit means to know of. So he knew this was a idol. And he had partaken in some of the rituals and the worshiping of the golden calves. The writer says here, it says, it was critical test for Jehu's faithfulness to Jehovah. Would he maintain the calf worship of Jeroboam or not? And of course he did. He still worshiped God and the golden calf. So, I mean, he was, if you think about it, he was one of the guys that were on the fence. Like, you either worship God, you're on the fence, or you don't worship God. He was, I would classify as a person that was on the fence. I mean, he was dibbling in both sides. It says, Jehu ought to have known that the golden calf, if not as hateful to God as Baal's worship. So, I mean, either way, I mean, Baal's worship, golden calf, they were pretty much synonymous. I mean, they were both pretty much parallel, equal. They were false idols. So, instead of not doing either one of them, the false idols, he still worshiped one of them, and God. And God tested his faithfulness on that, just trying to figure him out. See, he probably already knew what he was going to do, but he just trying to see if he could change his thoughts. Verse 30, and the Lord said unto Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in my eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab, according to all that was in my heart, the children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. So God still rewards Jehu. He's going to get 4 generations of children that's going to be king of Israel. So God still sees that he is still worshiping the idol, but he carried out I guess you can say, carried out the job that he sent him to do, taking out Ahab's descendants, getting rid of Baal. He did that. He fulfilled that job, but God even still sees that his heart's on the golden calf as well. So I mean, even though he's not all in with God, God still rewards him with 4 generations on the throne. So on verse 31, but Jehu took to heed to walk in the laws of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from sin of Jeroboam, which made Israel into sin. So pretty much, I mean, he didn't depart from the golden calf. And what that did, I mean, it probably escalated and growed and pushed Israel back into sin. God was trying to take Israel out of sin by getting rid of Baal, getting rid of Ahab. But I guess you can say one sin led to another. I mean, you either wipe all the sin out, not just half of it. I mean, like I said, Baal and the golden calf were both in parallel. They were pretty much the same in one sense or another. But Jehu, he didn't wipe both of them out. He just wiped out the one. And what that did, it still let a sinful seed, I guess you could say. And that seed escalated and escalated through his reign. I know that was a little on the choppy side up here on this side. story. Anybody have anything extra to add to it? Like I said, I'm not as good as Ron Mason.
The scripture was a little hard to understand.
Yeah. My fourth grade education makes it hard to read too. All right, we'll do a few of these little questions down here. How did Jehu become king?
He was appointed.
Huh?
He was appointed.
By Elijah.
Elisha.
Elijah slipped in there, anointed him. Exactly. What type of man was Jehoshaphat? I mean, we know he was another king. Really didn't tell a whole lot about him. So you probably had to dip into it. I think that's let's see. Oh, I did. What kind of man do you think Jehonadab was? I couldn't understand if they forced him, if Jehu forced him to go with him. I mean, by reading the scripture, or if he willingly went with Jehu to watch the slaughter. But apparently, he just sat back and watched the show. Number 3, what was wrong with Jehu's zeal? Number 3.
He had zeal for the wrong thing.
Exactly. Yeah, he was at LeBron James. I mean, he wanted to take the credit for getting rid of Baal and all that instead of saying all the credit goes to God. He wanted all the credit to go to him. He was like, well, hey, come with me, watch what I can do. This is what I got to do, but watch what I can do. Okay, what is wrong with much that passes as zeal for the Lord now?
Yeah. People are still going their own way
Oh, exactly.
and not listening to what the Lord wants.
Yep. They are definitely. Is it ever right to do evil and putting down wickedness?
No.
Definitely not. What was wrong with Jehu's destruction of Baal's worshipers? What was wrong with it?
It was all out.
Yeah. I mean, he used their wickedness. He used their worshiping as their death. I mean, he built them up. I mean, some of these people probably thought he was right, worshiping Baal. I mean, maybe that was how they were raised up or something like that. So, I mean, that's probably what they thought of. And then when they were told that, hey, we're going to take this up to the next level, they were like, sweet, hey, let's get out of the stale state and get up here to the golden state. So, I mean, why was Jehu rewarded?
Well, he had done what the Lord wanted to do and for executing and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But I think he done wrong when he was after the golden calf and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's where he failed God.
God knew that he wouldn't all win. I mean, he did the job that God wanted him to do, but God probably was hoping that he was going to do a little bit more than that. But I mean, he just did what God wanted him to do, and he stopped at that instead of pursuing a little bit further.
That's kind of like when he sent, some out to, kill everything, you know, all the cash and everything.
Yeah.
Hit the best of the best,
Mm-hmm.
and when the Lord tells you to do everything, you don't get the best, you do it all.
Yeah, exactly, when the Lord tells you to do something, I mean, you gotta do it 100%, you just don't do it 90, 80. And, but he did 100%, took out Baal and took out, Ahab, but God was feeling that, open that part of, you know, what he had him do there would, I guess you can say, do something in his heart where he would go to the next step, like taking out the false idols of the golden calf. And I mean, pretty much we answered number 8. How did Jehu fail God? We knew how he failed God. He didn't step up to the next level, I guess you could say.
Politically correct.
Huh?
He wanted to be politically correct.
Exactly.
In other words, please the people, but not God.
Can't say no better than that. Can't say it no better than that. All right, next week is November 14th. I will not be here. I will not be here. Yeah, so unless somebody wants to step up and do the lesson for next week, our preacher, I talked to him, he's gonna have to do it because Rhonda Mason's out all month. She's down in Florida. I don't know why she went there for. Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. That's one that,
I'm saying about this.
too much sand. Too